A woman orders a $300 steak at an anniversary dinner, and it sparks some debate over who should pay. Which, I mean, this is like a really expensive meal. So, talk about raising the stakes. A woman out on her second anniversary dinner with her significant other accidentally ordered a $300 steak, sparking a spirited online debate. Daniela, known on TikTok as at iKingDanny, and her boyfriend were celebrating their relationship milestone when he suggested she ordered the Wagyu sirloin, a typically pricey top grade cut of meat. However, she unintentionally ordered an 8-ounce Wagyu steak, causing the bill to jump to well over $400. The video went viral and has served up nearly 2.2 million views and scored 191,700 likes. My plate was $312 and his was $48, wrote Daniela in an overlay of text on the video. The video then showed Daniela's partner jokingly shaking his head as he inserted his card to pay for the meal. I thought he was going to break up with me, she said in the video. Danielle later confirmed that the entire thing had been an accident. I walked out the restaurant crying, she wrote. He held my hand while I was tearing up and told me we're going to laugh about it in a couple of months. So let's check this out. Let's see. Hmm.
When he told
Alright. When he told you to get a ba. Okay, so the bill $438.54. Oof. Ooh. You can see his eyes. He's like, oh Jesus. So it seems like the guy is being like a pretty good sport about it because obviously, if this is true, that this was an accident, then there's not really much that you could really do about it because the thing was still ordered. It was still ate, right? It shouldn't really have happened. I mean, she should have been paying attention. Also, the server should have been paying attention. Like, hey, this seems kind of odd that one dish is like $40 and the other dish is like nearly $400 itself, right? So that's kind of bad service on the server's part, but you gotta keep in mind this isn't like a first date, second date, third date kind of thing, right? Like if this happened on the very first date or on the second date ever that these two had, that is beyond a red flag and be like, yeah, we should probably not be together, right? Because that's possibly not even an accident. But if it's something that's like, where they've been in a relationship for about 2 years, right? Because their 2 year anniversary, then this is more of something that will hurt his wallet for a little bit, but in the long run is more of just like a funny story, and he could kind of like use it as like a fun like poker against her, right? As in like when they end up having like small arguments and whatnot or fun jabs at each other, he could just toss this in like, oh, do you remember that one time when you cost me like $400 because you ordered some super expensive steak, right? So there's just a few ways to really handle a situation like this, right? Because you also got to keep it into the context that these two individuals are in a long term relationship where something like this happened, right? You can't really, I mean, you could technically break up with someone over this, but that's kind of like lame. That's kind of stupid because it most likely was an accident, I doubt she did this multiple times in the 2 years, but you never know, right? But the best way to like deal with it is the way that this guy basically dealt with it, and just like in a very humorous way. He's like, "Oh crap!" Like based off his eyes, he's like, "Oh no, that's a lot of money," right? But I like how it seemed like this guy handled it. Now the thing is, he probably should have like a very serious talk with her and be like, "Hey, I get that this was an accident, but also like we can't be doing this, you know? Like we gotta be really careful to not spend this type of money like this, right?" Now then again, this was like for like a special occasion, and again was an accident, but at the same time, if more situations like this pops up where this happens more than once, then you got to start thinking, wait a minute, is this some sort of trend or is this actually just an accident, right? So if the bill wasn't shocking enough, the video has since sparked a debate over who should have paid. "You should have offered to pay half. That's a big bill," one user admonished. "I would have pressed split bill so fast," said another. And here's the thing, right? That is a very, very good viewpoint, right? If a girl screwed up or a partner screwed up, right? Your partner screwed up to this extent and it was an accident, you would think that they would offer to be like, "Hey, can I do something to make up for this? Like, how can I make you feel better? How can I make up for the fact that I literally cost you like $400 when you had no idea or were ever planning on spending that type of money for this meal?" Right? Now, who knows? Maybe she made it up to him later on. I don't know. I don't know what goes on in their personal life. But I completely understand people's point of view of like, you probably should have split the bill, or you should have paid for it, kind of thing, as like screwing this up. Meanwhile, others said she was not to blame, that it was the server's fault. Now, I don't think it was the server's fault, but the service of the server was not good if they didn't raise flags about the massive discrepancy in the different meals, right? So the server should have confirmed that's what you meant to order given the disparity in the dishes, defended a user. "I've been a server and I would have verified it in a nonchalant way. I just want to confirm you want the 8-ounce Wagyu that's listed on page XYZ," another said. One user expressed their sympathy toward the couple, saying the same thing had happened to them. "This happened to me too," one user quipped. "I thought it was $50, turned out it was $50 per ounce." To add insult to injury, Daniela revealed that she didn't even enjoy the meal. "It was the 8 slices of Wagyu and some tiny leaves on the side with salt," Daniela said. "Trust me, it wasn't even good." Now, she might be just like downplaying this stuff, right? Trying to like make it like, trying to like lessen her mistake. But the reality is, the person that cares about you basically got screwed over because you didn't pay attention, right? Which is a sad thing, right? Because you unintentionally harmed someone that you cared about and that also cares about you. And you never really want to do something like that. So, anytime it comes down to like money, in terms of like, like basically your significant other, be very careful because something like this, even though it might seem a little bit of like a small situation, because if it's like an accidental situation, something as small as this could rub someone the wrong way, depending on how it's handled, to be like, "Hey, the fact that she screwed up and didn't offer to make amends about this really rubs me the wrong way. Maybe that kind of goes to show me that she's not really someone that I want to be with for the rest of my life," right? That's one way to look at it, right? Another way to look at it would be, oh, she was willing to split the bill. She was willing to make it up, like make up to it by doing whatever. Like she was like freaking out, she was scared, all that kind of stuff. She was worried about getting dumped, even though I wouldn't do that. Maybe this is the type of girl that I want to be with, who cares so much that she screwed up to where she wants to make amends by any means, basically, right? Like maybe I want to be with someone like that because that goes to show me that she actually really cares. So it's just different ways to look at this situation, and people need to take these types of things a little bit more seriously, right? I like the guy how the guy handled it, but at the same time, it doesn't take much for someone to like start second guessing their decisions as to who they are with. Like again, this might seem like a small thing, but it might not actually be a small thing later down the line, right? So, something to think about.